Iran's war enters a sixth month and what reporters are calling a period of greater uncertainty. Since the conflict began on February 28, the United States, Israel, and Iran have exchanged devastating blows, and now both sides are pausing to consider what comes next. President Trump initially declared that Iran was totally defeated and wanted a deal. In March, he told the American people that the U.S. military would wrap up operations in 2 to 3 weeks, saying, "We will be leaving very soon." After nearly 2 weeks of attacks and counterattacks, Mr. Trump has held off a major escalation, but the major issues between the two sides remain unresolved. The cycles of fighting have produced staggering losses on both sides. An estimated 1,700 Iranian civilians have been killed in airstrikes, and those strikes have devastated Iran's infrastructure while deepening the country's already severe economic crisis. 18 U.S. service members have died in the war, and the Pentagon estimates the conflict has cost $37.5 billion. Let's walk through the timeline. After the United States and Israel launched the war, Iran began firing on ships in the Strait of Hormuz, effectively closing the vital waterway and sending oil prices skyrocketing around the world. On February 28, in the opening barrage of the conflict, a salvo of Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy warships struck an elementary school in Minab, in southern Iran, killing 175 people, most of whom were children. In a separate attack, a new type of American weapon called the precision strike missile hit a sports hall, a school, and 2 residential areas in southern Iran, killing 21 people. The White House and Pentagon have not publicly acknowledged responsibility for either attack. On March 1, only the second day of combat, Iran struck U.S. military facilities across the region with medium-range ballistic missiles and one-way attack drones. An Iranian attack drone killed 6 U.S. Army soldiers stationed in Kuwait. That same day, 3 U.S. Air Force F-15 warplanes were shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses in what appeared to be a friendly fire incident, though all crew members were successfully rescued. Moving on, a Navy submarine torpedoed an Iranian warship near Sri Lanka on March 4, likely killing more than 100 Iranian sailors. Iran called the strike an atrocity at sea. On March 7, a U.S. Army soldier died of wounds suffered in an attack on Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. On March 12, 6 U.S. airmen were killed when their KC-13-5 aerial refueling tanker crashed in western Iraq. On March 31, Mr. Trump told the American people the United States would be out of Iran in 2 or 3 weeks. Meanwhile, the economic impact at home was becoming harder to ignore. The average price of a gallon of regular unleaded gasoline in the United States, which according to AAA had been $2.98 before the war, jumped to $3.98. In early April, another F-15 was shot down, this time over Iran. The pilot was quickly rescued, but the jet's weapons systems officer was rescued only later. Multiple U.S. aircraft were destroyed during the second rescue operation, though details about what happened remain incomplete. The article notes that these are only the major moments of the war, and its deadliest incidents, as both sides now consider their next moves. What is clear is that the war has entered a new phase, one marked by uncertainty, enormous human cost, and no clear path toward resolution, as the world watches and waits to see what comes next. I'm your host, and that's our report for today. Thank you for listening.